Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be discussing my favorite songs from the whole month of June. This is counted towards, everything I've listened to on video and off video. There were actually a lot of albums that I listened to just on runs, off video, that will come into this list, so some stuff that I haven't covered on the channel, and also a lot of stuff that I also have listened to on the channel this month. It has been a fairly quiet month, at least for June. In terms of new music releases, so this whole list kind of, shows that. There's not too many songs that I am absolutely in love with. There's some that we will eventually get to, but yeah, out of all of the best songs of the month videos to do, June has not been the absolute strongest, but some albums that I checked out recently, including Hemlock Springs at the kind of beginning of June. Moses was my favorite song off of that record, and in general, this record is very, very solid. Her voice is very, very unique on this whole project. It's very like synth pop heavy. It's one of the most unique synth pop records of the year, but her voice is kind of the thing that shines. It wasn't even the overall production that I was blown away at, but it was more her quality of vocals and melodies that really, really stuck with me. And Moses is my favorite song from this album. Again, it's a very, very intriguing pop album, and it is one that kind of, doesn't really... It's an under-the-radar album for this year so far. I haven't seen a lot of people give it its flowers, but it is a very, very solid album, and Moses makes its way onto this list as being one of my favorite songs of the month. It is incredible. It is fun. Vocally, it's a standout on the album. And yeah, if you go and watch my initial reaction to this song, I was just blown away. Yeah, great song by Hemlock Springs, and I totally suggest you listen to the album if you haven't heard it so far, because it is really, really a good project. Next up, we have The Feeling by Steve Lacy. This is an incredible song. This is an incredible song that is really making me excited for his upcoming album that is coming out in, I think, the next week or so, which will be covered on the channel for sure. But The Feeling by Steve Lacy is a contender for Song of the Year for me. Just absolutely gorgeous. Melodically, it is a standard. It's one of Steve Lacy's best songs, in my opinion. An amazing lead single. The song just feels so, like, I don't know, like he's begging for something, and, like very, very, what's the word? Kind of like he's reaching out to someone, and it feels so, like, hopeless. And I really connect with that. I really, really enjoy this song. There's just so much emotion in the way he sings this song. It really is also, like Moses, all in the vocals. Gorgeous track, and yeah, his album's coming up real soon, and I'm sure that's going to be an incredible album. But a Song of the Year contender. I haven't listened to too much R&B this year, but an R&B track like this is something that has really caught my attention. Oh, Steve Lacy has done it again. Speaking of yet another R&B track, so there were pretty good R&B tracks this month, I would say. New single by Flo called Don't Break Her Heart. I also reacted to this one on the channel. This one is amazing. Possibly my favorite of all of the singles that Flo has released for their upcoming album so far. Yes, they also have an upcoming album coming out in August, so it's going to be a very, very good next few weeks for R&B fans. But this one is absolutely gorgeous. It brings back this kind of old school 2000s nostalgic R&B. The vocal layering, the melodic structure of this, everything is off of the charts. So it's kind of 1-2 punch of Steve Lacy and Flo right now. They are really, really killing it. And yeah, normally there's not too much R&B on these lists. I don't really listen to a ton of R&B, but the stuff I have heard this month is absolutely killer. I totally recommend this, and again, we'll be covering their album whenever it does come out in early August. Taylor Swift is on this list, huh? Yeah, Taylor Swift is on this list. I am really shocked by this song. I am really shocked by this song. When I first reacted to this on a video, I, didn't really expect too much. I thought this was going to be a throwaway track from a Toy Story soundtrack, but this is a really, really good evolution for Taylor. Her last 3 or so albums have really been misses for me. I have said this routinely. Midnight's, Tortured Poets Department, Life of a Showgirl have all been pop, and normally I like pop Taylor. 1989 is a really good pop album by her. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. And now this, kind of going back into a mix of her Folklore and Evermore days, but also a mix of that early country style that she started off her career with. And this is the type of sound that really works for her. This is gorgeous. One of my favorite Taylor Swift songs that she's released in years. And it's an original song for a Toy Story soundtrack. But yeah, she's made her way onto this list. It's actually a really, really good song. So if you're a Taylor Swift hater, which I'm not a Taylor Swift hater, but if you are, please listen to this song. Maybe it'll change your mind. Trust me. Of course, Bjork is on this list. Bjork is on every monthly list that I have, obviously, because I've been discovering her discography. Everything that I listen to in the month counts, not just what was released. But yeah, Bjork comes in a couple times on this list, and I'm just going to kind of put them all together in the same clip here. But my favorite songs from this month, probably my favorite songs from Vespertine, I have Hidden Place. It's a toss-up. Hidden Place, Cocoon, and Undo. Those are the 3 that I'm currently enjoying the most. But any 3 songs from this album could really, really be up on this list. This is... it's a different sounding album from Homogenic, but I almost like this more. This is a gorgeous album that still blends these electronic sounds, the etherealness, this Christmas wintry vibe almost. But yeah, this first half of the album is really, really good. Hidden Place, Cocoon, and Undo. Some of the best stuff she's ever done, in my opinion. Pagan Poetry might be my favorite song off of this album. That is basic, kind of basic, but I listened to that one in May, so it doesn't count towards this list. But of course, there's Bjork. There's Bjork on this list. Just as you all assumed, right? So yeah, Vespertine is shaping up to, probably be my favorite album of hers so far. And those are the 3 songs that I'm really connecting with so far, like lately, because it flips on a dime for me. Now, here is an album that I listened to on a run that I didn't cover on the channel. I just didn't know if a review would suffice it. Obviously, I couldn't react to it. But yeah, I have fully heard this Gorillaz project, and coming in at one of my favorite songs of the month is Casablanca by Gorillaz, which is later down in the track list. It's like the 13th track or something. It's a standout. This whole album is very solid. It's one of the more unique sounding albums of this entire year. It blends this like classical Indian sound with like disco and psychedelic pop and, really, really interesting sounds. But you really have, on Casablanca, you have this almost Middle Eastern sound, this traditional Middle Eastern sound mixed with current, pop music and hip-hop and that kind of thing. That kind of sound that song is kind of one of the only songs on the album that have like a Middle Eastern flair to it almost. But I really, really messed with that one. That one it had so much kind of charisma to it. Again, I love the kind of, traditional vibes of this whole album, but in particular Casablanca. Casablanca is an incredible track. And it's probably one of the more unique songs and albums that you're going to hear all year. I totally recommend this. It does come in at a little long in length, but totally worth the listen, and it doesn't feel that long at all. Another album that I listened to this month is Girlfriend by Grace Ives. And my favorite song from that album that comes on this list is the last track, Stupid Bitches. It is very, very nice. It's this synth pop mixed with almost a pop rock sound. that hook is one of the funnest things I've heard all year. The distortedness, the grungy sound, is kind of, I wouldn't say out of place on the album, but it is different for what the rest of the album has to offer. Overall, this album is very, very solid. Girlfriend by Grace Ives. The writing style is not for everybody. It is very different. Her vocal style is also different that I didn't necessarily connect with on a few songs on my initial listen. It kind of reminds me of Melanie Martinez in a way. This kind of, I wouldn't say childish, but this quirky style of writing and sound. Definitely not for everybody, but Stupid Bitches is one that kind of flips that sound from the rest of the album and really changes it. It's this distorted, grungy pop rock mixed with, synthy, electro pop, darker pop. It is a crazy song, and my favorite from the album coming onto this list. Yeah, Girlfriend by Grace Ives, along with Hemlock Springs, are two albums that are gonna, fly under the radar and are absolute must-listens if you haven't heard both of them this year, for sure. Of course, there was going to be Olivia in this list. Olivia has also added 3 tracks to this list. I'm gonna say 3 tracks, but it honestly could be, again, just like Bjork, it could be the whole album. This is an incredible album. Please check out my review of this album, because it's just that good. It's one of my favorite albums of the year, not of all time, but it could sneak in there. To be honest, it's that good. I have on this list, My Way, Less, and Expectations. A bunch of different sounds. My Way is this kind of, rocky sound with new wave, very synth-heavy stuff. Olivia really has never worked with synths, bright synths at least, like this much. And the songs that she does use these synths for, I love. So My Way is kind of a weirder, out-of-the-ordinary sound for her, that I absolutely love. It's a killer track. It is one of my favorites from the new album. But My Way is up there. Less, track 11, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It is one of the best ballads of the entire year. That piano is like a jazz. It's like an older sounding piano that you're not going to get in most albums. It has this older, very, very old flair. Heartbreaking lyrics. I almost teared up when I first listened to the album. And then the track after that kind of does a 180 on track 12. Expectations. Again, a banger of a pop rock track. One of my favorite songs on the album as well. The transition is jarring from Less to Expectations. But, yeah, Expectations is just, it's so catchy. The production is also so killer. What is there to say about this whole album, though? But My Way, Less, and Expectations come onto this list. My favorite tracks of the month. What a fucking album. What a fucking album. Second to last track on this list, we have On Your Mind, FKA Twigs, and Lil Yachty. This is a nasty little track by FKA Twigs. Dropped kind of very, very surprisingly. Did not know we were going to keep going with the Eusexua kind of vibe. Again, the cover art still invokes this Eusexua theme that the Eusexua singles did previously have, so we're not done a Eusexua yet. This is potentially a single from another Eusexua project, but this is honestly might be one of my favorite songs of the whole Eusexua era, counting the album and Afterglow. This is really good. This is so dirty. This is so fun. Lil Yachty adds a really, really nice flair on this. I really like what he added. This is incredible. The production is so dirty, and having his voice really contrast with hers, with this kind of rap verse, this spoken word type stuff. I really like his vocal effects on this song. Like, this is, one of the best songs of the Eusexua era for me, and obviously one of the best songs of the month. Let's get to the last song on this list, and potentially, again, a Song of the Year candidate, definitely my favorite song of the month. You guys know it if you were watching my channel, but on initial reaction, this song, I had it labeled Song of the Year. Please watch my reaction to On Wires, because it is a killer song. Carly, this is different. So going into this track, I was already kind of diving into her discography just weeks before listening to this lead single. And nothing I have ever heard from her discography has really ever, invoked the thought that, oh, we're going to get some pop, rock, grungy sounds. So I wasn't expecting that. We get this kind of jazzy intro as well. But whenever that hook hits the first time, I was blown away. I can't describe it, but the satisfaction that you get whenever you hear that first hook, and then the outro, where that hook is almost extended. She is, really, really like into it. Her vocals are just so good. That long note in the hook, just production wise, vocally, this song tops all of the charts. The lead single from our upcoming album coming out in September. Again, please watch that reaction. Please listen to the song, because for me, it is a clear Song of the Year contender. This is out of left field genre-wise for Carly. Never expected this sound, so that's also partially why it hit me so hard. But that is my list for favorite tracks of the month of June. This month is already shaping up to be a better month in terms of new releases and music discovery. But let me know your favorite songs. Do you agree with this list? Do you think some songs should have been excluded or included? That kind of thing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing for future reactions and other content. Stay tuned for the next video for the best songs of the month of July, because I'm sure that one will be pretty stacked. Ari, Charlie's releasing, Steve Lacy, Kalela released, Madonna released. Who else released? Ryan Beatty released. I think he counts as a July one. Like, such a stacked month. But I will see you guys in the next one.